A garden is a living thing. It breathes, it grows, it thrives. But unlike the plants that we nurture, the lifeblood of a garden is often hidden from view. It lies beneath the surface, in the rich, dark earth that we call soil. Good, healthy soil is the very foundation of any garden worth its salt. It's what feeds our plants, anchors their roots, and allows them to flourish. So, join me today as we dig a little deeper into the 7 deadly sins of soil care and learn how to avoid these common mistakes. Together, we can ensure that our gardens are built on a foundation of healthy, vibrant soil. Our first sin is a common one, and it's the sin of ignorance. Specifically, ignoring the pH level of your soil. pH is a measure of how acidic or alkaline something is, and soil pH plays a crucial role in a plant's ability to access nutrients. Think of it like this. It's all very well having a pantry full of delicious food, but if you can't open the door, you won't be getting very far. The same goes for plants and soil pH. The ideal pH range for most plants falls between 6 and 7, which is slightly acidic to neutral. When the pH strays too far from this sweet spot, it can lock up essential nutrients, making them unavailable to your plants. This can lead to all sorts of problems, from stunted growth and yellowing leaves to poor flowering and reduced yields. Testing your soil pH is a simple process. You can pick up an inexpensive testing kit from any good garden center. Once you know your soil's pH, you can take steps to adjust it if necessary. Now, our next sin is one of excess, the sin of gluttony, or in gardening terms, over-fertilizing. Just as we wouldn't want to overload our bodies with too much food, our plants don't appreciate a constant barrage of chemical fertilizers. Over-fertilizing can lead to a buildup of salts in the soil, which can actually dehydrate your plants. It can also disrupt the delicate balance of microorganisms that live in the soil, upsetting the natural cycle of nutrient release. Instead of reaching for those quick-fix chemical fertilizers, opt for a more natural approach. Compost and well-rotted manure provide a slow and steady release of nutrients, feeding both your plants and the beneficial microbes that call your soil home. Our third sin is the sin of sloth, or in this case, allowing our soil to become compacted. Soil needs to breathe. When we walk on our soil, especially when it's wet, or use heavy machinery on it, we squeeze the air out, leaving it dense and compacted. This makes it difficult for roots to penetrate, water to drain away, and for those all-important soil organisms to thrive. Avoid walking on your beds whenever possible, especially when the soil is wet. If you must work on your beds after rain, use boards to distribute your weight more evenly. Remember, a little care and planning can save your soil from a suffocating fate. Our fourth sin is one of greed. The greed of taking from the soil without giving back. Organic matter, in the form of compost, leaf mold, well-rotted manure, or even just chopped up prunings, is like gold dust to your soil. It provides a vital source of food for those beneficial soil organisms, improves soil structure, helps it retain moisture, and suppresses weeds. By adding organic matter to your soil, you're feeding the very ecosystem that allows your plants to thrive. Chapter 5. The sin of envy, not rotating crops. Different plants have different appetites and feeding habits. When we plant the same crop in the same spot year after year, we're essentially asking that plant to survive on a diet of leftovers. Over time, the soil becomes depleted of the specific nutrients that plant needs, leaving it vulnerable to pests and diseases. The solution is simple crop rotation. By alternating crops from different plant families each year, you can help to break disease cycles, prevent nutrient depletion, and keep your soil in balance. Chapter 6. The sin of pride, leaving soil bare. While a tidy garden can be satisfying, leaving your soil uncovered and exposed is like sending it out into the world without a coat on a chilly day. Bare soil is vulnerable to the erosive forces of wind and rain, which can strip away topsoil and wash away valuable nutrients. The solution is simple. Cover it up. A layer of mulch will act like a protective blanket, insulating the soil, suppressing weeds, and retaining moisture. And as it breaks down, it will add valuable nutrients back into the soil. Chapter 7. The Sin of Wrath. Fighting your soil type. Every soil type has its own unique set of strengths and weaknesses. Clay soil, for instance, is often rich in nutrients but can be slow to drain. Sandy soil, on the other hand, drains quickly but can struggle to retain moisture. Instead of fighting against your soil type, embrace it, work with its strengths, and find ways to gently improve its weaknesses. Choose plants that are well suited to your soil type and celebrate the unique character it brings to your garden. Outro: a thriving garden awaits. There you have it, the 7 deadly sins of soil care. By avoiding these common mistakes and embracing a more holistic approach to gardening, we can create a haven for our plants and reap the rewards of healthy, vibrant soil. Treat it with the respect it deserves, and it will reward you with a bounty of beauty and abundance for years to come. Happy gardening.